While most agency owners and firm leaders are talking about AI for innovation, what they're not actually telling you is that there's a three-part playbook they're secretly using behind the scenes. And it's not about transformation, it's about execution. On the stage, they will sell you a groundbreaking client results and futuristic services, but in the boardroom, the real conversation is actually happening. It's strategy that's less about chasing shiny objects and more about fundamentally rewiring your business for more profit and power. It's not just about growth, it's about control. And in this video, we're exposing that playbook, how they secretly use it to grow revenue / service delivery costs and navigate the internal politics to solidify their position. This is the AI strategy they don't want you to know. So bring your cup of coffee and let's get right into it. Let's be honest for a minute. For the last few years, the public narrative about AI has been a masterclass but in a misdirection. And you've seen it actually. Leaders on the stage of industry conferences talking in grand, they use words like reinvention, revolution, and disruption. And the message here is clear actually. AI is a rocket for innovation, and firmly they are in the captain's seat. But then you look at the numbers. Recent studies reveal a stark reality. Despite the widespread AI adoption, only about a third of the companies actually managed to scale AI beyond the small pilot projects. And for all the talk of transformation, businesses are seeing a limited impact. And this gap between the story being told and the results being delivered isn't an accident actually. It is a feature and not a bug. But while everyone is distracted by the spectacle of innovation, the real work is happening in the background. The smart leaders aren't just bolting AI into their existing services. They are treating AI as a new operating system for their entire firm. It's not one magical tool. It's a disciplined three-part model designed to do three main things exceptionally well. First, drive top-line growth. Second, expand bottom-line margins. And third, ensure the organization can actually handle the change. And that is the hidden playbook. And today we're breaking down all the three parts. The first part of the playbook is the most visible, and it is the growth story. This is the part leaders are actually happy to talk about because it's exciting, it's optimistic, and it impresses clients. But even here, the public story is a simple version of what's actually going on. When they say the word growth, they don't mean just a vague innovation. They're talking about precise data-driven plays designed to systematically win a new business and increase client value. The first and most powerful play is personalization at hyperscale. Of course, we're not talking here about putting a client's first name in an email. We're talking here about using AI to deliver a unique experience for every single client and every one of their customers at every touch point. AI models now can analyze clients' data, compares performance and customers' behavior to instantly tailor service recommendations, proposals, and marketing strategies. This lets the firms show the right solution to the right client at the exact same moment they're most likely to buy and driven up their closing rate. For example, a marketing agency can use AI to audit a prospect's website to generate a custom proposal highlighting specific data-backed opportunities before the first sales call even happens. This level of dynamic pre-sales work was impossible with human teams alone, but AI makes it scalable and shockingly effective. The second play is what I call creating indefensible services. This is about weaving AI so deeply into your service delivery that it becomes a core part of your value, creating a competitive moat that's impossible for rivals to cross. And this is happening everywhere. Agencies are building AI-powered reporting dashboard for their clients and give them real-time predictive insights their competitors can't match. AI isn't just an add-on. AI is a core feature that makes your service smarter, faster, and more valuable, locking your clients in and keeping competitors out. The third play is one of the quietest but most profitable, and it is the revenue leakage detection. Every service business loses a huge amount of money on scope creep, unbilled hours, and missed upsell opportunities. And finding these leaks is like searching a needle in a haystack. So leaders are deploying AI to do the work. And this isn't about creating a revenue out of thin air. It's about reclaiming the money that was already yours. So when you hear a leader talking about AI growth, you will know what's really happening. It's a calculated strategy built on a precision targeting, deep service modes, and systematically plugging in financial leaks. So, this is the growth story they want you always to hear, because it signals strength and vision, but it's only 1/3 of the playbook. So this brings us to the second, much quieter part of the playbook. If the growth story is what they shoot from the rooftops, the efficiency story is what they whisper in the COO's office. This is about using AI to attack the other side of income statement, which is costs. Many of the most celebrated AI transformation projects are, in reality, highly sophisticated improvement margins programs. The vast majority of executives see AI as a critical tool, and cost reduction is one of the biggest prizes. And this is where the most immediate ROI comes from. The first play here is radical automation of repetitive work. And this goes way beyond of website chatbots. We're talking here about automating core business functions. Think about tasks like pulling data for client reports, processing invoices, or onboarding new clients. For decades, firms threw armies of junior staff and coordinators at this work. Now they are using AI-powered robotic process automations to handle it faster, more accurately, and at a fraction of the cost. In client services, for example, studies have observed that AI tools can cut down the time professionals spend just crushing the data by 20 to 30%. So each automation frees up your team to focus on high-value strategic work for your clients. The second and more advanced efficiency play is redesigning the process, not just inserting a tool. This is a critical distinction that separates the leaders from the laggards. Average firms take a new AI tool and layering on top existing, often broken processes. They are using AI to do the same broke old work just a little bit faster. And the result, marginal improvement, but not a huge transformation. The smartest leaders know this is a trap. They use AI's arrivals as a chance to ask more a fundamental question. Should we even be doing this process at all? They don't just automate the old workflow. They redesign the workflow around what AI actually can do. For example, instead of using AI to summarize a client strategy call for the manager to review later, they rebuild the whole process so AI can analyze the strategy call, suggest action items, drafts the follow-up emails, and creates the tasks in your project management software. This holistic approach doesn't just make the old process faster, it creates a new, fundamentally better one. The third efficiency play is predictive resource planning. This is about using AI to look into the future and optimize your most valuable asset, which is your team's time. For agencies, AI analyzes historical projects data and current workloads to forecast project timelines with an incredible accuracy, preventing costly delays. This predictive power let agencies and firms run leaner, reduce employee burnout, and build more resilient delivery models. Finally, the most sophisticated leaders are using AI to execute this fourth play, FinOps for AI. As firms use AI, the cost of running these powerful models and these AI subscriptions can spiral out of control. The most disciplined leaders are already applying financial governance to their AI spend, optimizing which tools are used for which tasks, and monitoring subscriptions with an eagle eye. This ensures the efficiency gains from AI aren't just whipped out of the AI itself. The second part of the playbook, the focus on margin and efficiency, is less glamorous than the growth story, but it is the financial engine that makes everything possible. If you're finding this breakdown of the leader's playbook useful and you want more deep dives on the real strategies to grow your service business, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're exposing the unwritten rules every single week, and I'm sure you don't want to miss the next one. Now we arrive at the final and most sensitive part of the playbook. This is the one they will never discuss on a conference stage. It's the part that isn't about technology at all. It's about people, politics, and power. The uncomfortable truth is most AI initiatives don't fail because the tech is bad. They fail because of organizational barriers. They fail because of the job loss, tough wars between departments, and the lack of trust. A brilliant AI strategy is worthless if you can't get your team to actually use it. The final part of this playbook is designed exactly to solve this problem. It's about managing the human elements and ensuring the leader's vision actually becomes a reality. The first political play is building coalitions and anointing champions. A top-down mandate for AI rarely works. Your team actually is seeing it as another corporate initiative to ignore. Instead, savvy leaders identify influential people on their firms, like the respected lead strategist and the brilliant operations manager, and make them the champions for AI. They don't just announce a new tool. They tie the AI project to a measurable goal that champion already owns, like increasing their team's client retention or reducing their department's non-billable hours. So, by making these leaders the heroes of this AI story, the firm's founder turns the resistance into an actual support, and the change is actually being pulled from the middle. The second and incredibly subtle play is making the leader the first user. One of the fastest ways to kill an AI project is for your team to see it as something done to them instead done for them. If AI is just a thing done for the junior staff, adoption will be very slow and resentful. The most effective leaders get this and make a point visibly using AI tools for themselves. They might use an AI assistant to draft a client proposal, use an AI analytics tool during the team presentation, or talk openly about how they use generative AI for brainstorming new service ideas. And this isn't just their own productivity, it's a powerful cultural signal. It says, this isn't something I'm delegating, this is how we are going to operate now and starting with me. It demystifies the technology, legitimizes its use, and makes it much harder for others to resist. The third and final powerful play is centralized governance to control the chaos. While encouraging the experimentations, the best leaders create an AI council to see all the AI initiatives. Publicly, this is framed about being ethics, security, and client data protection. And it is, but it's also about control. This central body controls the AI budget. It decides which tools get approved and which projects get funded. It ensures the firm's AI efforts are actually focusing on strategic priorities, not the fragmented pet project of different teams. It prevents the shadow AI, where individual team members start using unapproved tools that can create a massive security holes or client confidentiality risks. In short, this governance layer is how leaders are keeping their hands on the steering wheel, ensuring the AI firm's journey is headed in the direction they haven't chosen. So, let's put it all together. The one AI strategy that successful leaders won't talk about isn't a fancy tool or a magic algorithm. It's a three-layer operating model running in concert. First, you have the public growth story, using AI for hyper-personalization, indefensible services, and revenue recovery. This is the exact narrative that drives the client perception and top-line growth. Second, you have the quiet efficiency story, using AI for automations, process redesign, and predictive resources planning to slash costs and expense margins. This is the financial engine that makes the business resilient and funds future investments. And third, you have the secret power story, using collisions, executive modeling, and centralized governance to manage the politics and ensure adoption. Now that you know this three-part playbook, you can see past the public relation narratives. You can analyze what other firms are really doing with AI, not just what they're saying. And more importantly, you can apply this same thinking and mindset to your own firm, agency, or your consulting practice. Don't get mesmerized by the next shiny AI tool, and think like a leader running this playbook. Ask yourself, how can this technology drive tangible client results and win more business? How can it deliver measurable efficiency and improve our profit margins? And what is my plan to manage the people and the politics to make sure it gets adopted? Because at the end, AI won't replace the leaders. but it will expose those people who can't think strategically. And the choice here is simple. Either you learn to architect your own strategy with AI, or you will eventually work for someone who does. So your next steps here now is to apply this exact same playbook into your business. Thank you for watching the video. I am Sofian Benwali, and see you in the next one.